Hey there, today I want to show you my XTAR Dragon VP Plus battery charger and tester. This is a cool device. Right now I'm in the middle of testing batteries. I had a Dyson battery pack that only lasted 4 months. I got off Amazon. So I think I got scammed there. They were saying that the batteries in the pack were 7,000 milliamp hours, and on there in writing it says only 4,000, and the pack didn't make it. As a reference, the Dyson themselves, they have 2,400 or whatever in there. So 4,000 is already a lot. When you use the vacuum, it stops working after like a minute, right? So something is wrong. One of the batteries, at least, is broken. And in order to find out which one that is, you would have to basically charge the battery first, and then discharge it and see how much power came out of it. And this tool can do that, right? So if you look at this, it shows the discharge amount, what was discharged out of battery 1. This is this one. And here, this number shows how much came out of channel 4, out of this battery. And on the battery itself, we see here 4,000, I'm sorry. 4,000, when the battery is new, should be in there at least. Could be more than that, but 4,000 is the minimum what should be in there. So right now, we have 2,337 that came out of it. The battery is at 48%. That's good. So this may be a good battery, who knows? But we have to wait for it to completely discharge and then to see how many milliamp hours came out of it to make a judgment how good this is, right? So I can push the button one more time here. That turns the light on for the display. So maybe you can see this better than battery 1 here. This much. Battery 2, here, number 4, sorry. Has 2,300, right? If I click here again, it should change to battery 2 and 3. 2 and 3, right? So, battery 2 is 60% full, 2,000 came out of it. Battery 3 is 73% full, and 1,700 came out of it so far, right? But so it will go on and on and on. It will take some time to completely charge and discharge. Why are those batteries different? Because they probably didn't start discharging at the same time, right? So the problem in this pack, as I got it, I opened it, was that all batteries had different charge levels. That also should not happen. The balancing board in this battery should make them all equal. That was clearly not the case, so we will see how this goes. The date on here shows January 15, 25, I think. This is what the date is. So it was made in 25, now we have 26, so those batteries are only 1 year old from the date of production. So they should really not be that bad. As I said, the charger can charge. That is the main function of it. So if you insert a battery, those LEDs will turn red. It will analyze the battery and then start charging. When the charge is over, the battery will be green here, if you have a good battery, and the battery will be charged. Very easy to use. If you want more, you can click here on test, right? So you would push and hold this button here, and then you will see test comes on, and then it will record what happened. It will charge the battery first. Once it's charged, it will discharge the battery all the way to 0. And then it will charge it again all the way full. And it will memorize those numbers in here. So how much power you put in it, how much you took out of it. And then when those numbers are different from each other, then you know there's something wrong. For example, if you put 4,000 in and only 2,000 comes out, then there's something wrong with it, right? So that's not working. If it says on here 4,000, but only 2,000 goes in and 2,000 comes out, then this number is a lie, right? That's how that goes. So another thing you can do is to measure the internal resistance of your battery. You can't do this with a regular multimeter. You need special tools for that. So this charger here, this particular one, comes with those probes. And the probes are connected to a USB connector here. And let's show this. There is a USB in here with those probes. A sign for the probes, right? That's where this goes in. You can plug that in at any time, right? Okay, so now let's see, we want to check the internal resistance of this battery. You should never do this when the battery is charging, right? The battery has to be in idle when you do this. Okay, to start this, we would have to plug those two together. By doing this, it zeroes out and it goes to USB measurements, right? Okay, so now we connect both of those. Put a little pressure on it. Now we see this battery has 4.1 volts and 8 milliohms internal resistance. 8 milliohms, it's very small. It's not much. So usually batteries have more than that. Okay, let's try this one. Here we go. This one has 3.8, right? And 9 milliohms. 3.8 is the voltage and 9 milliohms resistance. If you have a battery pack with multiple batteries, you just measure every single battery in it. And if one is out of range, like let's say they're all at 9 and one is 50, then you know there's something wrong with that one battery, right? So that's how you identify which battery could be broken. But in order to measure them all the same way, you would have to charge them all. So all have to be charged. Double click here takes it back here. And double click here turns the sound back on. So okay, let's try this again, just for you to show. In order to turn on the test mode, where you can measure the internal resistance of a battery, you hold those two probes together. You know why this doesn't work? Because I didn't plug in the USB stick. The USB, right? So okay, first you have to plug in USB. Those probes have to be plugged in the probe connection. When they're plugged in, you touch them, and then it goes into this measuring mode. So when you're in the measuring mode, you can measure the internal resistance and voltage of your battery. 3.8 volts, 10 milliohms internal resistance. Let's try another battery I have here. Here, look at this. This is one from a different brand. Let's see what that does. This thing has no voltage whatsoever. This battery is completely dead. Wow, I didn't know I have those here completely dead ones. Let's try this one. This is an LG battery. This has 3.87 volts and 140 milliohms. This I would think is a good battery. We have more. Let's see this one here. It says no writing on it. Four volt. It's pretty high voltage. And 91 milliohms. That's good, right? That's good, right? Let's try this one here. Dead. No voltage. No milliohms. This is a completely dead battery. I didn't know I have those. Let's try this one. What does this say? 3.6 and 29 milliohms. So you see already 29 milliohms, 30 milliohms. That's how a healthy battery looks like. So those batteries I have here, I don't have much faith in this. When I see here a voltage, 3.8, and then only 12 milliohms. That is odd. But in any case, so we can disconnect our probe. So the probes are disabled. And now double click on display. Now we are in the test mode again, where we are in a discharge cycle right now. Channel 2, 3. I think if I push again here, it switches to channel 1, 4, right? This one and this one, they display here. If you push again, then those two show, 2 and 3. So, in order for this to finish, it needs time, okay? So, let's say the numbers on here are true. 4,000. This thing is charging with 1,000. 1,000 milliamps, right? If you have all 4 batteries inserted, the maximum this can charge is 1,000 for each battery. If you have only 2 batteries, it can charge with 2,000. But let's say we have 4 batteries, we can charge with 1,000 and the battery needs 4,000. So it will need 4 hours to charge one of those batteries from empty to all the way full. It needs at least 1 hour to discharge and 1 hour to charge again. So 4, like I said, 4 to charge, 4 to discharge, and 4 to charge again. So that is 3 times 4. That is 12 hours it takes to test one battery and fill it up again. 12 hours, that's a long time, but it is what it is. After you're done with this test, you know for sure if your battery is good or bad. This is a very good charger, I have to say. I love it. I would buy this again if I had to, if this thing ever fails. They also make one with 8 of them in there, where you can do 8 at the same time. They may be also good. This one I like because it comes with those probes. Very helpful. Alright, so I hope you liked this video. Subscribe, and for those companies that have chargers and want to have a video on my channel, just send me a free charger and I'm going to test it. Contact me at my channel name here, and then we see if I can test yours. Wait, honest review, I paid for this thing myself. I have it already for a few years, so I know how to use it. I use it for a couple of years now, and it's really nice and working for a long time now. Whenever you have to charge or test the battery, it's perfect. It does all kinds of batteries. I just see here I have one of those. Look at this. An ultra fire battery with 6,800. I wonder if that is true. But I could also try this in here. Charge and measure. And then if that is true what it says on here, 6,800, that takes almost 7 hours to charge. So this will take longer, right? The bigger the battery is, the longer it takes to do the test. Alright, with that said, you enjoy your day, and I see you in another video.